PBS American Portrait
is a platform that allows people to share their experiences,
to tell their stories.
Using the prompts that PBS American Portrait put out.
I was raised to believe.
I took a risk when...
What gets me out of bed in the morning?
What gets me out of bed in the morning?
It's that I've got a purpose.
It's the fact that we're going to be doing something special.
What gets me out of bed in the morning?
Probably my mom and dad.
Work, school,
music,
coffee,
French toast,
Optimism.
My faith.
my kids.
Knowing that I have to be like the best dad that I can possibly be.
The thought that maybe this will be the day I figure out how to make my dream come true.
The idea that every morning there's a new problem to solve.
so that's what gets me out of bed in the morning.
It's your story.
The millions of stories that make up this country.
Just regular people like you, me.
Everyone has different story to tell and share.
People's videos and pictures.
A digital tapestry.
It's just a place to be heard and feel valued and listened to.
Escuchar los diferentes puntos de vista de las personas de diferentes orígenes, de diferentes clases, de diferentes edades.
To inspire and to encourage one another.
our common humanity in the American experience.
This is who we are.
That's what's great about it, is that you feel connected to a giant place because we all share little tiny snippets about our lives.
Most days I feel
This project can help bring us together.
To listen to each other.
Sharing your own ideas, your feelings.
Your challenges, your drive.
What makes us the same? What makes us different?
We all have a story to tell.
All around the United States to reflect our true American portrait.
I was raised to believe
that there is no dream that is unreachable.
As long as I'm determined, I can become anything.
And not to give up.
no matter the obstacles.
That there's nothing in the world that I can't do. Right, Mommy?
That's right.
Now that may sound kind of cheesy and basic, but it's not.
I was also raised to believe in myself.
To take care of myself.
That the only person you can truly ever rely on is yourself.
That you have to work hard for everything.
I was raised to believe that if you have the ability, it is important to go out of your way to help people.
That we're supposed to help each other, help our neighbors.
That whatever we had, there was enough to share.
I was raised to believe that ordinary people can do extraordinary things. I'll never forget growing up, my mom would pull me aside and read Bible stories to me. And she would always cast me as one of the characters in the Bible story. So Moses and the children of Israel crossing the Red Sea, this extraordinary thing, and she would cast me as Moses, and I would always wonder how in the world could I do something like that? And she would explain to me that ordinary people can do extraordinary things.
I was raised to believe that hard work can provide you with everything and anything. Hard work will help you get your quote-unquote whatever your American dream is. Ours was to have land and horses and chickens and ducks and kids and dogs and cats. And I want to believe that my hard work that I put in so far has allowed us to have all these nice things.
I was raised to believe that success and happiness comes from going to the best schools,
getting a job at a reputable company, working your way up in your career, getting married, having children, buying a house. Have those things, you'll be happy, you'll be successful. You know, for many years, I believed that I've been fortunate enough to attend the best universities in the world, work for reputable companies, you know, make a six-figure salary. But I also, in those moments, felt incredibly unfulfilled, unhappy. And so I walked away from all of it. And it's really scary, but at the same time, very empowering because it's made me realize, like, there's other ways to live and it's okay. And so it's a wild ride.
When I step outside my door,
When I step outside my door, I feel blessed.
I feel really lucky to live where I live.
When I step outside my door,
as I walk out the door,
I see a diverse and friendly neighborhood.
I see a beautiful green city.
I see my sweet little backyard.
The birds are singing to you early in the morning.
It's my happy spot.
When I walk outside my door, I get to see some of the most beautiful country that God's ever created.
This is kind of what I'm seeing.
This green, beautiful place.
and I'm just thankful for being surrounded in this place like I am.
I love just nature. Nature is just so beautiful. Oh my God!
When I step outside my door, I am in my office, the Sonoran Desert in Arizona. Let's see, I think this way. If you come out here into the desert, the sun is shining on the sand, and the temperature here will get up to 125 or 130 degrees. When you learn about all the plants, you begin to appreciate what we have here. This is staghorn or buckhorn cholla, a small Palo Verde tree. The only place in the world where they grow is in the Sonoran Desert, and it's quiet. It's beautiful. I love it.
When I step outside my door, I see what most people might call a parking lot or a driveway. But I see my backyard.
When I look outside my door, I see all the changes on the house that had to be made to accommodate my injuries. I see all the help that we received from our community to make these changes. And I see the beautiful Vermont landscape that inspires me to get out there, recover, and be a part of this world again.
When I step outside my door, this is Detroit. We're known for abandoned houses, burnt down houses, open fields, a lot of violence and reckless activity. Look at this block, you see a lot of blight. But we still got good people here. Detroit is making a comeback. Most people would think that that's not a city that I want to live in. But I look at it, opportunity. Opportunity for us to make a change. Look at that house right there. It's beautiful. We gonna make it to a point where all the houses in the city look like this again. This is my goal. This is the future that I believe in.
I took a risk.
When I decided to pursue my dreams. When I joined the Army.
When I decided to trade in a consistent paycheck to create art.
which to my family isn't a real job.
I took a risk when I moved from Brooklyn to Puerto Rico.
To New York.
To Alaska.
To Connecticut, Kentucky, and then Wisconsin.
I packed up everything I owned.
In 3 suitcases.
With no money.
I took a risk when
I decided to randomly post my resume online. I started my own DJ company.
When I decided to open up this restaurant.
It was a huge risk, but it's the best decision that I've ever made.
I took a risk when I started working for myself because I was afraid that I wasn't going to be able to pay my bills. And I felt like that was a pretty good risk, and I came out okay doing it. I'm pretty much got a personality like my grandfather, and he owned like 100 acres of land. He was a farmer and had a lot of people's working for him when I was a little child, and I remember that he used to take me fishing. I used to walk around in the field with him, and they say I favored him. And they say he had a green thumb, and they think I got a green thumb also because I love to work outside, I love to grow flowers, I love to plant gardens.
Tomé un riesgo. En 1956 abandoné la fábrica de cartera para poner un negocio propio para echar a mi familia hacia adelante. Los hijos míos estudiaron y son 3 profesionales.
I took a risk when I decided to put all of my life energy into pursuing my passion of skating. There's not necessarily a for sure future in it. So taking a risk on that versus a traditional 9-to-5 job was really big for me, and it's definitely impacted my life in a lot of different ways. But I'm really glad I took that risk, and it's definitely proven to bring a lot of really beautiful, good things into my life.
So I took a risk when I decided to start my own business. I cater. I believe that I am going to break the curse of poverty in my family. I believe that starting this is not only going to teach my nieces and nephews how to carry a business, how to carry a job, but we can build wealth within our family, and I have something to leave over as a legacy for my kids, for the next generation after me.
I decided to share my story.
When a friend
Recommended that I share my story.
He told me that he was inspired by my history.
Usually I have so much to say and choose not to say it.
So I decided to be brave.
And I said, hey, I have a story, so I'm gonna tell it.
After I shared my story, I posted it on all of my social media accounts.
I told my friends about it.
All the feedback I received from it was very positive.
I got wonderful feedback.
Telling me how I was giving individuals hope.
It was an opportunity to connect with people I knew as well as with people I never met.
And that's what's so beautiful about this project is that it opens up conversation, it opens up dialogue with things that you never thought that you would talk about.
I got involved in PBS American Portrait when a friend of a friend reached out, and this individual said, hey, I think you would fit this project that is going on perfectly. The physical challenges is, you know, what everyone sees first. Unable to move my body, the wheelchair, you know, can't shake hands or anything. But what they got to remember is, you know, the mental challenges. You know, I wake up every day knowing I'm paralyzed, I can't move my body. But I know that I have people there to help me. I have a great group of friends that stopped seeing the chair a few days after I got home. But I'd be lying if there weren't, you know, days or nights I think about what college would have been different, you know, if I was able-bodied, or what a normal day would look like, if I was able-bodied, what the future would look like. I talk about my everyday life and some of the challenges I face, but I hope everyone realizes that, you know, everyone has it in them to overcome these challenges and adversities that they face every day.
I decided to share my story because I thought it would be a great opportunity to share my art with the world, along with my experiences as a person with Asperger's syndrome.
Hello, my name is Emily, and I am autistic, and autistic is beautiful. As you can see, I am surrounded by artwork, all created by me, all thought up by me, all hand-drawn by me, and this is what I am good at. Now, I am a sole believer that everyone is a genius in their own way. The things the neurodivergent mind can create and do is absolutely incredible.
After I shared my story, I was greatly overwhelmed with all the love and support. I even got a few comments from parents of autistic children saying their child has been drawing nonstop since they've seen it. Everybody's got a story to tell. Tell yours. You never know who you will connect with and inspire.
The tradition I carry on.
The tradition I carry on
is cooking Persian food.
Making my mom's cottage pie.
My grandma Bess's mandel bread.
making pupusas,
traditional Native American foods,
Polish cookings.
My father used to do that. When he did, he would fill the house with all sorts of great smells.
Dinner on Friday night, Sunday dinner.
Family reunions.
For as long as I can remember, my family has done this.
Tradition of dancing,
Chinese performing and visual arts.
Old country music.
Keeping the tradition of Latin music alive.
From generation to generation.
And if we don't have those, then the future generations they won't know who they are.
A tradition I carry on is cheerleading. I remember being little, growing up and going to those youth cheer camps and looking up to those girls and what a positive influence they were on their community. And now I'm a cheer coach myself at Southdale High School, and we love to carry that tradition on.
Tradition I carry on is celebrating Oklahoma football with my friends, family. It's something started by my father. Scream and yell, drink a lot, eat a lot. We started a tradition of halftime whiskey, which sometimes bleeds into first quarter or second quarter whiskey. It's a lot of fun.
The tradition I carry on is preserving the culture, this culture that we call hip-hop. I've been collecting hip-hop memorabilia and the things of our culture for over 35 years, ever since my first hip-hop show. I have over 1,500 ticket stubs from all the shows and festivals I've been a part of to keep it going and to show the younger generation what led before them, the history, because you never know what you are until you see what was before us.
The tradition I carry on is really my mother's entire language and culture. My mother comes from a very small town in Sicily, and she was there until she was about 20 years old, and then she moved to the States, learned English watching TV, and eventually met my father, and I was born. And unfortunately, when I was just 5 years old, I lost her to cancer, and I really had no way to get to know her other than to learn her language and learn her culture and go to study and live for a little bit in her country. And to this day, I still keep in contact with all of her relatives. I continue to cook her recipes, and I continue to speak her language with as many people as I can.
The tradition I carry on is, honestly, I'm creating all new traditions. So I didn't have any traditions, and any tradition I did have was probably unhealthy. Like, you know, my family, we didn't sit at the dinner table. You know, there was nobody at my games or at my school plays. Everything right now is not about carrying on traditions from the past, but really making new traditions going forward.
My Saturday night looks like.
My Saturday nights look like
being with my friends.
We'll see some of our amigos. Because Saturday nights are for the boys.
We have friends, so it's a crazy night.
My Saturday nights look like
laying on the couch in my PJs.
Being a couch potato with my phone on silent.
And do absolutely nothing.
Relaxing with family.
Playing some video games.
Face masks.
Hopefully I can convince my husband to watch some Harry Potter movies with me.
And I have a drink in my hand.
And I have a little libation.
After a long work week.
Just take a break, take a breather, and love yourself.
And then I go to bed.
That's my Saturday night.
So my Saturday night was the biggest day of my life because I proposed the love of my life. It was our anniversary, and I decided to surprise her on our anniversary, and I proposed there, and she had no idea about it, and it was a big day, and it was an amazing day.
My Saturday night looks like putting the horses to bed and maybe get a couple kisses from him if he's feeling friendly.
My Saturday night looks like an art project. That's when my daughter and I create our side-by-side paintings. I started this art collaboration as a way to spend quality time together. No phones, no computers, just us painting, talking, learning about art, and listening to music. My paintings are always on the left, and hers are on the right.
So sometimes a Saturday night looks like me in this room, bopping around, having a drink, listening to music, and getting ready to go perform as Kiki Slug Queen, my drag persona. Kiki is a mystical drag queen who connects with people through her medium of queer readings. It's a one-on-one conversation where we're trying to bring out some insight or guidance around a topic. The process that led me to develop queer readings really came from feeling like my spirituality and my queerness were incompatible. This desire to find a way to put them in dialogue and bring queerness to a spiritual practice and conversation into a queer space.
My Saturday night looks like sermon prep. And when I say sermon prep, I have a 17-minute lesson that I give every Sunday. And for some reason, I don't get inspired until Saturday. So Saturday night is the culmination of taking that one idea and then sitting down at my desk, or sometimes I'm sitting down in the red chair at home and opening up a book and just really, truly finding that inspiration in what's alive in me. Because if I can pick at what's alive in me, then I know I'm gonna touch somebody's heart because it's alive in them too.
My American story started.
My American story started
when I was 6. I found myself on the plane coming to America.
When I was adopted from SAR, Chad, Africa.
My American story started when my parents moved from Mexico to the United States.
And I didn't speak any English at all. My first day of school, I was so overwhelmed and I did not understand anything around me.
It was a very exciting time for me, but also a very terrifying time for me.
I came here with my family in search of a better life.
The beginning of a new life.
It was not an easy process.
But I don't for a minute think anyone in my family regrets coming to the States.
I'm very happy because now I'm gonna be part of this country.
I'm from Nigeria. Getting the American dream wasn't easy. It was a journey. It started from how to do things in the American way. For example, I said the boot of my car. I said, the boot, what is boot? I'm like, the back of the car. Someone said, hey, Eric, I like your pants. I said, no, you cannot like my pants because you can't see my pants. In Africa, pants means underwear. But the good thing is that the world of difference bring everyone together because I'm from Africa, now I live in Des Moines. I have kids who are Americans, who don't speak with accent, and it all began from when I won the green card lottery to come to the United States.
I was born in America. I consider myself an American, but I don't really know what my American story is. Like, I feel like the classic American story is is kind of just growing beyond the wealth of your parents, right? And I guess, I'm on that journey. One thing I'm trying to do is have a successful career. I don't know if that's necessarily American, but that seems like my pathway to succeeding my parents where they have left off.
My American story started when I was about 10 months old. My family were boat people, and I was actually born in a refugee camp in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Then we were welcomed to Des Moines by a church, Holy Trinity Church. And with their help and the help of the state of Iowa through social services like WIC and food stamps, my mom, who didn't speak any English, working 3 jobs, was able to raise 7 of us. And I've started a business, a small IT company with a partner. And we've been building up from just the 2 of us, and now we're up to 9 employees. And we hope to grow further and give back to Des Moines and the state of Iowa in any way that we can.
You should be a part of PBS American Portrait.
Because we can't paint this portrait without you.
And everyone's story deserves to be heard.
And I am interested in your story.
I'm sure you got something to share.
Whatever's on your mind, whatever your message is, your thoughts.
Your family stories.
We need to see each other's faces and we need to hear each other's stories.
Your hopes, your triumphs.
And let us know what's going on with you in your life.
Look at the prompts, and it's pretty easy. Don't be afraid. I was nervous, but I'm glad that I did it.
It's a ripple effect, Once you share your story, Others are encouraged to share their story.
Plus, this is something that you might be able to show your kids or your grandkids someday and say, look what I was a part of.
You can be an important part of this project.
To join in,
Go to
pbs.org/American Portrait.
Go to the website.
That's
pbs.org/American Portrait.
Go to that, check it out, join, and then, we all can feel like we're all one.